Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are about 30 subscribers away from 11,000. So if you can help get me to that, that would be sensational. Smash a like on the video stream as well. I'd be incredibly grateful. I apologize for the way I sound. I have a cold and I sound like I have a cold. I've got a sore throat and a blocked nose. So if that's annoying to listen to, I can only apologize, but it is what it is. I thought, you know what, maybe I don't go live tonight, but I've already taken 2 days off. I can't keep the intro as daily Arsenal news if I'm not here. But look, there's loads of you here. There's lots to talk about. The Chido Obi news, which broke this afternoon. We're going to talk about Douglas Luiz, Justin Bilo, some of the other academy players that are due to be out of contract at the end of this month. Yusuf Fofana, Bruno Guimaraes. There's lots to talk about. But yeah, there's loads of you here. Pekka Junior Films, Vincent, Hyper Protagonist, Fizzy, VV Vlad, Sportcat, Alex, Jacob, Live, Woodsy, Ethan Udall, Ross Lawman, Cringe, Lukey, Churms, Kyle, Keenan, Icarus, Simon, Victor, Christopher, James Bidder, Leeds Gunner, Tentego, Boardsy, Ultra Pro Gamer, and many, many more. Willsy's in here as well. It is good to see you. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back after a good weekend. A good weekend was had. But it has left me feeling rather the worse for wear. Finally a stream. I mean, I was live on Friday. We've only had 2 days off. It does feel like longer than 2 days though. I don't know why. Why aren't we offering what we did to Nwaneri, to Chido? Maybe we did. Maybe we did. Even with a cold, you are not going to catch me out with that one. Got to wake up far earlier in the day. Yeah, we don't know what we have offered to Chido Obi Martin. So we'll get into that news straight away. So this news coming out today from an account called Academy Scoop. Now, I'll be completely honest. I don't know how reliable they are, but people seem to be taking it quite seriously. It does seem like they kind of do specialize in academy-related talk. They said Bayern Munich are in advanced talks to sign Chido Obi Martin, hoping to beat rivals Borussia Dortmund to the striker's signature. The Danish talent rejected Arsenal's most recent scholarship offer this week and looks set to walk out of the club this summer. Arsenal will continue negotiations to keep Chido, but are unlikely to be willing to match Bayern's financial offerings. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, you know, he is objectively, at 16 years old, he is the most prolific 16-year-old that we've ever had at the club in terms of scoring 32 goals this year at under 16. So it would be frustrating to lose him. It really would be frustrating. But there's two ways of looking at it. One way of looking at it is that we have turned a corner when it comes to the academy, which, you know, I like to think that the fact that we managed to keep Nwaneri means that we have turned a corner. But maybe we haven't. But we won't know until we know what we've offered him. So if Bayern are offering something crazy and we can't compete with it, you know, it's frustrating. But what can you do? Now, also, we can't offer him, I think because he's still 16, we can't offer him right now a pro deal until he's 17. Now, I'm pretty sure with Nwaneri, we set him up like he knew he was going to get the pro deal as soon as he turned 17. But I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know exactly what the deal is. This might turn out to be our Musiala-like loss that Chelsea felt. PL rules really need to change for youngsters. Yeah, so that's the thing. The Premier League rules hold us back a little bit. And like you said, you know, other Premier League teams that spend a lot of money on their academy have lost players previously. Why would Bayern even want him? Well, that's another question. They actually just bought a 16-year-old and they've got an 18-year-old at that level as well. So it is an interesting one, but it may also, and Ultra Pro Gamers just alluded to it there, it may also just be agent talk. You know, it may just be his agent trying to, because look, this comes out today. We're all talking about it. People are quite annoyed about it. It may just be his agent, who apparently is a bit of a knob, trying to put pressure on the club to give him a better deal. So it's frustrating. Look, he's been at the club for 2 years. He's clearly progressed very well at the club. It would be frustrating if he leaves for money the second he gets the opportunity at 16 years old. But they got Tell as well, very greedy. Yeah, I agree. But if you put yourself in his shoes, maybe, and I don't think this should be the way that he looks at it, but maybe he looks at it and he goes, well, they've got Havertz. They're looking to go and buy Sesko. So that's 2 strikers under the age of 25. How long would it take me to break through? Now, in my opinion, his mentality should be, well, I'm going to be better than Sesko and I'm going to be better than Havertz and I'm going to start. But you don't know what that sort of mentality is. I hope he doesn't leave. I agree. His agent's the same as Saka. Yeah, I believe so. Chido should have known that Bayern buys great strikers. They don't nurture. Yeah, well, you just don't know what conversations have been had, what Bayern might have promised him. I would have thought that Dortmund, because it says in this thing that Bayern are hoping to beat rivals Borussia Dortmund to the striker's signature. I'd have thought, like at that age, Dortmund would be a far better option for your career anyway. Maybe he wants to start sooner than later, maybe, but you've got to have patience. At that age, you've got to have a bit of patience. I think it will be really interesting to see how much Nwaneri plays this year. I think if Nwaneri plays a lot this season, that'll do a lot of good for convincing youngsters to stay and convincing them that they will be given opportunities. I've seen some people trying to blame Arteta for this. Genuinely, some people trying to blame Arteta as if Chido should have been given game time in the senior team this season. None of us had heard of him, realistically. None of us had heard of him until about October anyway. And, he's 16 years old. It would have been absolutely ridiculous to play him. So I do not blame Arteta for this one. But we'll see. We'll see. There is still time. There is still time. The main thing that would be annoying, though, right? The main thing that would actually be annoying if he leaves is just the fact that it's money. It's, fine. If he's not going to make it at Arsenal, fine. But make sure you get money for it. And obviously, you can't get money for a 16-year-old. But I like that way, not allowing anyone to hold us to ransom. Yeah. This agent always drives it to the brink. Yeah, that's what I'd seen. That's what I'd seen. Not him personally, but if they played other youngsters, maybe he'd have more faith that he'll get a chance. Yeah, no, I do hear that. I do hear that, which is why I think Nwaneri is important this season. But the other kind of academy-related thing, whilst we're on that topic, this came from Gunnerblog today. He said Arsenal are still in last-minute negotiations with Karl Hein, Mario Koscielny, and Ruel Walters as they attempt to persuade them to renew. Walters, in particular, has appeared resolute in his determination to leave and to pursue first-team football, but Arsenal are still optimistic that they can persuade all 3 to reconsider. So, look, it's not over until it's over, but we'll see what happens. Twitch stream tonight. I really want to do a Twitch stream because I know it's been a few days, but honestly, I think long term this week, I might be better off. I mean, I just want to go to bed. So I think probably not a Twitch stream tonight because the thing is with the Euros coming up as well. If I just don't allow myself to rest, because my voice is all over the place as well. If I don't allow myself to rest and then I go into the Euros like this, it's just going to be hell. So we might have to push the Twitch stream back until tomorrow, unfortunately. Need to keep Cozier Dubry, the only one we really need to keep. Well, the interesting one, actually, really, in terms of what we need next season, Karl Hein is a problem. If we lose Karl Hein and we're selling Ramsdale and we've lost Okonkwo, we're down to 1 keeper. So that would actually be problematic. I do think we actually really need to keep Karl Hein. Cozier Dubry long term, of course. Get to 100 likes. Yeah, if we can rack it up to 100 likes, that would be fantastic. The fact that Nwaneri signed convinces me that Chido will sign for us. Good players attract good players. You would hope so. How close is the Sesko deal? What's happening? It's interesting. So on Sesko, Fabrizio was talking to. I'm good, thank you, Carter. Fabrizio was talking to. He was on the United stand today, but he was talking about Sesko because apparently United are interested in him as well. Fabrizio says that Sesko will make a decision by the end of the week. I read somewhere else that Arsenal aren't pressuring Sesko into making a decision. They're more than happy for him to take the time that he needs to weigh up all of the proposals. And ultimately, if his choice isn't to go to Arsenal, then Arsenal will move on because they aren't interested in players that don't want to join the club. So I think I think the situation with Sesko is perfectly fine. Arsenal aren't going to pay over the odds for him. They're not going to trigger the release clause unless they know that he wants to come to the club. So, yeah, I think we'll find out by the end of the week, though, according to Fabrizio, which will be interesting. Or we won't find out what exactly is happening, but supposedly we will know if he's either going to move away or if he's going to stay with Leipzig. I don't think we're signing Sesko. I actually think it might be Gyökeres. I just hope it's not Ferguson. Vlad, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. I mean, I'm still. Look, Gyökeres is still there. Gyökeres is still there. Do you think Douglas Luiz is possible now? I do, yeah. I do. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I think Douglas Luiz is possible. We've heard a lot over the last few days that Aston Villa need to sell and that they are open to selling Douglas Luiz. And Fabrizio Romano said today, Juventus and Aston Villa set to talk again about Douglas Luiz in the next days. The only way to make a deal happen is by including players to join Aston Villa. Otherwise, there is no chance. Understand Samuel Eiling Jr. has been discussed as an option, as well as Weston McKennie. So, that's because Juventus can't afford to pay 60 million quid or 50 million quid, whatever it turns out to be. I think it's 60 million euros, so about 50 million quid. Juve can't afford that, right? They don't have the cash. But Aston Villa are willing to accept cash plus players. Weston McKennie, decent player, but Samuel Eiling Jr., again, decent player. I think we can jump in there. And we can offer a player and cash. Or we could just offer the cash that they need. Because ultimately, it is money that they need. And that is the slightly odd thing about the fact that Villa, according to Fabrizio, want players when it's money that they need. But if he's available for 50 to 60 million quid, I think we do it. We've had such a long-term interest. Now, I did read a thing today and I didn't copy it down, so I don't know who wrote it or if it was from like a really reliable source. But I did read a thing today that said basically Arsenal don't want to go back in for Douglas Luiz whilst his agent is still his agent, which is, I think it's Kia. What's his name? Kia Djurichan or whatever his name is. Arsenal apparently don't want to deal with him because he's caused problems with it before. So yeah, potentially, I don't know. Maybe we say to Douglas Luiz, look, get yourself a different agent and we'll sort something out. But the ultimate overriding thing there is, we know we want him. We know we've wanted him previously. And if Juventus can get him, then we can get him, which is something I'd be interested in. Smith Rowe, Douglas Luiz, straight swap deal? Nah, Villa wouldn't do that. Villa don't value Smith Rowe highly enough to do that. It would need to be like Smith Rowe plus, honestly, probably 20 for them to do that. Oslo Guna, good to see you. I read that Sesko is not our first choice and Chelsea are pushing. Yeah, I've seen a couple of things today. Chelsea supposedly pushing for both Elise and Sesko at the moment. But if, Sesko may not be our first. Well, he may not be our first choice, but he's definitely a player that we would happily take, given that we've presented a proposal to him. Juve are on the slip. I mean, just in general, in Serie A, just none of the clubs have money. I haven't seen this reported, but I'd love Julian Brandt as a midfield signing. Always shows up in big games. Getting older, though. He's older than people realise, Brandt. I think he's too old. And I don't really see where he'd fit into the midfield. I don't think he could play alongside Rice. I don't think he's got the defensive work to play alongside Rice. I've got no idea why Chelsea want Elise. How many right wingers is that now? It's about 7. It's about 7 right wingers. So, yeah, they've got enough of them. How was your weekend at the charity football game? Hope you recovered from the WWE kick you suffered. Yeah, it was great. Honestly, it was an amazing event. It was an amazing event. It was really well run. There were loads of people. I think there were over 1,000 people there watching. There were about 80, 90 creators there, some huge creators. And meeting those guys is awesome because they are actually literally just every single one is just like a very sound person. Even if you look at their content and you think your football opinions, they are shocking. Which probably most people think about mine. But no, it was really good. It was really good. Unfortunately, I did once again pull my quad. So for the second event in a row, I ended up not actually playing much. I played about 20 minutes of the first game, started at centre back, nearly got my head taken off by Arthur TV. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it actually. Look at that on my shoulder. Wait, can you see it? I can't. Can you see that? Look at that. That's a whole boot. That's a whole boot coming over my shoulder from Arthur TV. Not even a booking. Not even a booking. Did you speak to Danny Aarons? Yeah, Danny Aarons was my captain. Danny Aarons was my captain, and he played at centre back alongside me. Well, we played a back five. We played a back five. Got to get those stretches in. I did. The issue was I was still in tatters from playing at the Emirates. Obviously played at the Emirates on Wednesday, and especially when you've got Tony Adams, barking instructions at you, adrenaline. I was committed that game, and then it was again. I took a shot in the warm up. We were warming up, and I took a shot, and immediately I felt it, and then I played as much of the game as I could, but then I was like overcompensating on my left side. There's my right quad, which is the one I've always had a problem with. And I went to jump up for a header, and I felt the left one go. So at that point, I was basically running on no quads. And yeah, unfortunately, I had to come off. And that was all she wrote. But no, it was other than that, it was all fantastic. Can I watch the game at any point? I want to see you play. Yeah, so it's on the Awareness for Andy's Man Club. Awareness for Andy's Man Club. It's on their YouTube. It was a 6-hour live stream, but I played the very first game of the day. I played for about the first 20 minutes. If you go to about 15 minutes in, that's where I'll nearly lose my head. A couple of minutes later, tackled Chris MD. Absolute aura defending, if I do say so myself. And that was it. Where are you playing while Tony did his... Were you playing while Tony did his interview? Yes. Yeah, that interview of Tony Adams, I am in the background playing. Havertz ended the season at centre forward. He will play at the Euros at centre forward. So forget about the 100 million striker transfer. Gooners love from Zaza. You might be right, but I agree. I don't think we're going to spend 100 million. I really think it comes down to how much we can get someone like Gyökeres for if we can get him at a good discount. Newcastle signing Trafford for 15 million, so it wasn't Rambo, and clearly those Newcastle in the nose are dumb. Yeah, I'm baffled by them signing Trafford, to be quite honest. But Havertz has scored in 2 friendlies in two friendlies. I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Rory with an injury record more shocking than Kieran Tierney. I can't believe it. It is actually awful. It's quite sad. It's quite sad. It's like I can't just play football. It is quite sad. It's a flag. Oh, what's the Zaza flag? What flag was it? Yeah, my thing doesn't come up with flags. It just said Zaza. What is it? But normally I can tell because it's like the abbreviation of a country. What does Zaza stand for? South Africa. Oh, there you go, South Africa. Love that. Love that. Why is it Zaza? My football dreams are over. My football dreams are over. I mean, I didn't even get a call back from Arteta after playing at the Emirates. Didn't even get a call back from him. So it's all over. Anyway, look, there is other news to talk about. I'll probably talk more about when I'm next live on Twitch, which will probably be tomorrow. Links down in the description to the Twitch channel. I'll talk more about the event and stuff like that because it's pretty cool. The Telegraph, not the English Telegraph, the Telegraph in Holland. Justin Bilo is expected to move to the Premier League this summer. Arsenal and Liverpool view the player as an ideal second choice goalkeeper. So it may be that we end up competing with Liverpool for for Bilo. Now, it's interesting because Liverpool already have a very good second choice goalkeeper. So unless they're either getting rid of him, which maybe he now wants first team football, or they're getting rid of Alisson, which I can't imagine they will. I'm not entirely sure why they'd been for him, but yeah, we are apparently. So, what number was on the back of your shirt? 41. 41. Thing is, I put myself down as a CDM, so I was going for Declan. I was going there to be the Declan Rice, but ended up at centre back in a back five. So, to be fair though, with Cal the Dragon in goal, me and Danny Aarons as part of a back five, we kept a clean sheet against Angry Ginger's team, Ginger United. So it was pretty impressive. If you ask me, it was pretty impressive. Do you know if Gabby Jesus is having knee surgery? Not heard anything about the issue since the season ended. No, I don't think he is. I think he'd have already. That's a good point actually, because I hadn't thought about that in a while. If he was going to have that knee surgery, you'd imagine he'd have had it straight away after the end of the season to give himself as much time to come back as possible. So, excuse me, excuse me. So I can only assume it's not happening. Didn't that team only score one goal the whole time, Pen? Yeah, they did. It was weird. They had a lot of good players. They had Goldbridge, they had Chris MD, they had Ginge, obviously. They had Renico. They had a lot of good players, but they struggled. I've just seen the Spartan kick. That's brutal. It was honestly, I put my head in, and I nearly lost it. It was unbelievable. What else have we got on the news today? What else have we got? Fabrizio, again from Fabrizio Romano today. Yusuf Fofana will 100% leave AS Monaco this summer. Plan on both player and club side confirmed. No advanced negotiations yet, but Fofana feels ready for a new chapter this summer. So Yusuf Fofana is absolutely available and may well provide. There'll be a signing that is market value. But like I've said before, if we get rid of Partey, I don't think we can afford to just bring Fofana in. I think we'd need one more as well. What was it like playing with Grandad Goldbridge? I was playing against Goldbridge, and he's a good player. Goldbridge is a good player. Underrated player, I have to say. Did Goldbridge recognize you as the Gooner Goldbridge? No, he didn't recognize me as the Gooner Goldbridge. No, he did not. He actually left after the first game, to be fair. They lost to us. That was it. He called it a day. For me, I want both Luiz and Fofana. Yeah, Luiz and Fofana would be fine. Is Cal the Dragon normal? It depends what you mean. No one's normal, you know? I would say no one is normal. But Cal the Dragon's really nice. That's one thing I would say about Cal the Dragon. Whatever you think, having spoken to him, he's a really nice guy. You know, Goldbridge is more or less the YouTube Alan Partridge. He's good at football, though. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, come on. Let's get to 100 likes. Come on. Did you know Goldbridge is an ex-undercover cop? I don't think he was an undercover cop. He was just a cop and then a detective, I believe. The other thing today, it came from I can't remember the name of the source. It was like a Newcastle related source, so I don't know how reliable they are, or if it's more of like when Plettergold talks about Bayern Munich and it's just propaganda. But they were saying that Man City will not trigger Bruno Guimaraes' 100 million release clause. So they are still interested in him this summer, but they will not trigger the release clause. So again, Bruno G could be someone that's available, because if it goes beyond the end of the month and his release clause hasn't been activated, then it's just a straight up, if we wanted to go for him, it's a straight up us versus them. So again, I don't actually know if we are in for him, but yeah, Man City don't want to pay 100 mil. So do you think 115 will deter players from City? Possibly. We'll find out this summer. It's a good point. I mean, it's a good point. It is a good point. I don't know. I mean, Man City's trial starts this week for them suing the Premier League. That started today. So we'll see how it goes. Newcastle getting Trafford, Maresca wanting Sanchez. Where could Ramsdale go? Bournemouth. Well, it came out over the weekend. Arsenal want 50 million for Aaron Ramsdale, which I think's great. I think we should be demanding that sort of money for him. Apparently, we want 40 million guaranteed, and then 10 million in bonuses for him. The issue is who's going to pay that. Because if you're not talking a top club, no one else is going to pay that. Like no one in the bottom half of the Premier League is going to spend 40, potentially 50 million getting Ramsdale. So I don't really know where he could go, unless maybe Bayern Munich came in. But I've not heard anything about that, even though they did want to keep her last summer. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. But I've seen so many things over the last few days. Again, how people have tried to convince us that like Eddie and Nketiah should go for 20 mil, and then you see that Chelsea want 30 million for Broja. And then like Fulham are potentially interested in taking him, or was it Fulham or someone else for 30 million? And you're like, mate, if he's worth 30 million, and Nketiah is worth 30 million at an absolute minimum, I find it really frustrating. No worries, Fraser. Good to see you. Can I watch the game at any point? Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. If you search "Awareness for Andy's Man Club," the whole stream is on YouTube. Why not just keep him when we're going to say no, getting ripped off every time? I'm not too sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just don't think we can keep him because then he loses all of his value. Like, it's a really difficult position to get out of. It's a really difficult position to get out of because at some point, like the image of Arsenal being a really bad selling club has to change. But it's difficult to change that image. Really, the main thing, do you know what actually changes that image? It's not the same as buying players. Like when it comes to buying players, you set your limits, you walk away from deals, people know what you're about. When it comes to selling, you just need to be good, you just need to win things. Look at City. City can sell anyone for stupid money because it's just like there's this idea that if they're from City, they must just be very good. So that's the difficult thing that we've got to do. But what was it like playing Chris MD with your Mbappe pace? Last question. Well, look, Chris MD tried to take it past me. Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. You would sell Ramsdale next season? Yeah, but he'll be worth even less next season. If Ramsdale stays for another season, he'll be on the bench for another season. He'll be worth even less. So we have to sell him this summer. And again, there's no guarantee that there would be anyone that wanted him next summer, right? Especially if he's just gone 2 seasons without playing. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. I saw a tweet earlier about big exclusive news dropping at 9 p.m. tonight. Can't find it again now. Have you heard anything about that? I've not heard anything. It's probably Indy Kyler. There aren't many accounts. There aren't many in the football information exclusives game. If you've got an exclusive, you don't wait to release it, because if the longer you wait to release it, the more chance there is that someone else finds out and beats you to the exclusive. It's normally someone that absolutely isn't telling the truth. If we can't sell Ramsdale, he's 100% going on loan. Yeah, that's maybe the final solution is to send him out on loan. But even that's quite difficult. Again, where would he go on loan? Loan with an option, keep him in the shop window. It's far better. Yes and no. Because the one issue is, right, if he goes to a bad team that concedes a lot of chances, there's no guarantee that he comes out of it looking good. If he suddenly concedes a lot of goals next season playing in a bad team, people might look at it and go, well, he just looked good because he had a good defence at Arsenal in front of him. Southampton, maybe? I don't see it. Loan to Newcastle or Chelsea? No, but Chelsea are happy to keep Sanchez and Newcastle are bringing in Trafford. So I don't know where he could go on loan. I don't know why, but I'm really worried for our game against Serbia. What they are going to do is literally the carbon copy of what Iceland did the other day. Look, that Serbia game is going to be tough. Like you said, they are a very solid team. They will play very similarly to how Iceland did, only at a higher level. And they've got Vlahovic and Mitrovic up top. The one thing I said England are going to struggle with because of our centre-back pairing, probably being Guehi and Stones, is that those two, without Harry Maguire, struggle to deal with big physical strikers. Serbia have got two of them. I do actually think it's going to be a tough game. Bayern might take him on loan. Oh, yeah. Bayern on loan would be ideal. Well, no, Bayern buying him outright would be ideal. But yeah, otherwise, a loan would be all right. He dressed as Hagrid at the Southampton game. He did do that, yeah. He did do that. Trafford is a downgrade for Newcastle. Yeah, it's a weird one. He just doesn't really seem like he fits the Newcastle mould either. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Do you reckon if Osman pushes to come to Arsenal, we could get him? No. I like someone said earlier in the stream, I just don't think we'll pay that much money. And it seems like Napoli are just absolutely adamant that you pay the release clause or you don't. So it's too much. It's too much money. He's not worth it. And look, our issue is more in midfield than it is at striker as it stands. So I just can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. Bournemouth loan? Maybe a Bournemouth loan. Jake has been a member for 2 months. 2 months. Wow. Did you see all the outlets blaming Saka for the England game? I did. I did see all the outlets blaming Saka. Made a video about it on TikTok. I'm sick to death of having to defend Saka. And I feel like at the moment as well, I see it on other people's streams. I go on other streams. It's just constant. It's constant. You know, constantly having to defend Saka. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. But it's grim. It's grim. I don't know what that was at the end of that message. I didn't even try and pronounce it. But Lone Rambo, then Newcastle will be desperate to sign him in January when Trafford doesn't work out. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Why do the players renew their contracts with crazy high release clauses? If it gets them better wages, I guess it's worth it. Ginge called you Rory Talk shite on his stream yesterday. That's disgraceful. He's just fuming because we kept a clean sheet against him. He's just fuming because we kept a clean sheet against him. He was raging after that game, by the way. He was blaming the ref. He's blaming this and that and the other. Hey, just came up against some quality, and he couldn't handle it. Unbelievable. The media also tried to blame Mainu. Yeah, they do. They do. Is Zubamendi still up in the air, or is it over? I think it's close to being over for Zubamendi. I think it's close to being over. But it sounds like he's going to stay in Spain. Did you see Sky Sports claiming that Saka hate is bad, but failed to mention their own pundits and staff do it more than most, i.e. Kevin Kilban? Yeah, they're all at it. They're all at it. And the reason they do it is because it gets clicks. That's the truth. Look, I do think at a point there's absolutely racism behind it for some people. Now the difficulty is, look, you can't say that everyone that criticizes Saka is racist, right? That's not true. But 100%, some of the hate that he gets is fueled by racism. 1,000,000%. You cannot convince me otherwise. The difficulty is understanding, you can't make accusations at everyone. But something needs to change. Something needs to change. Stones could kill somebody, and the papers would just slap on a picture of Saka and Rashford for zero reason. Yeah, it's facts. It's facts. Bayern going in for Tar, Fabrizio just tweeted. Interesting. Kimmich is available, by the way. Apparently, Bayern's plan this summer is for Kimmich and Goretzka both to be available. Pavlovic, they are keeping, and they see him as the future of that midfield, as the kind of holding 8. So Kimmich is available. So look, Kimmich could end up being one that we go for. I would not be surprised if Kimmich ended up being one that we go for. He's not even a controversial player. He plays football very well, week in, week out, and still gets hate from mainstream sources. It's sickening at this point. There's 100%. There is also 100% a thing where there are people that don't like Saka because he is well-spoken. Bukayo Saka is well-spoken. He's well-articulated. He's clearly smart. He's a really nice kid. And 100%, there are people that actually hate him for that. And it's the same reason that they hate Jude Bellingham. And they come out and they say, oh, Jude Bellingham, oh, he's so media trained. He's too well polished. And it's like, no, he can actually just engage in a conversation, which, their star boys can't. It's weird. It's really weird. But like I said, I'm just, I find it draining having to constantly defend Saka. God knows how draining he must find it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards because we are starting now. Clue number 1, this player came through from the under-18s. This player came through from the under-18s. Clue number 2, they won Serie A with Juventus in 2013. Clue number 2, they won Serie A with Juventus in 2013. Clue number 3, they scored 47 goals in 171 games for Arsenal. Clue number 3, they scored 47 goals in 171 games for Arsenal. Clue number 4, they moved from Arsenal to Wolfsburg in 2014. Clue number 4, they moved from Arsenal to Wolfsburg in 2014. And clue number 5, they played 81 times for Denmark. They played 81 times for Denmark. Plenty of you have got it now, but who got it first? Who got it first? Who got it first? Who got it first? I tried to throw a couple of clues in there that I thought might throw a lot of people off. To be fair, it looks like it worked early on. And there we go. The winner is Ethan Udall. Ethan Udall has won it. It is indeed Nicholas Bentner. What a man. What a man. Ethan Udall has won it. James Bidder was second. Oslo Gunnar was third. Farasat was fourth. And VV Vlad was fifth. So there you go. Congratulations to Ethan Udall. Have we VAR check? Check complete. Can we confirm a check complete? If I don't win, I'm changing provider. Yeah, James, I don't think you won, James. I think you might need to change provider. So before you said Chesney, you said Clichy, you said Lehman, you said Clichy again, and that was it. That was it. Yeah, unfortunately, James, Ethan Udall won. VAR check complete. Goal given. Ethan. Congratulations. Congratulations. And now it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. You have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as Ethan Udall currently has. Lehman signed as a 35-year-old. Came through the academy. Came through under 18. Right. This player started their career at Fluminense. They started their career at Fluminense. They went to Rio Ave. They went on loan to Real Madrid. They went on loan to Monaco. They then went to Monaco permanently. They then went to Liverpool. They then went to Al Ittihad. So Fluminense, Rio Ave, on loan to Real Madrid, on loan to Monaco, permanently to Monaco, Liverpool, Al Ittihad. And there we go. Plenty of you got it at the end. But who got it first? Who got it first? It was... Make sure I don't get VAR'd. Make sure I don't get VAR'd. It was Ryan Henderson. Ryan Henderson has won it. It was Fabinho. Congratulations to Ryan Henderson. Amar was second. Phoebe was third. Oslo Gunnar was fourth. And Ross Lorman was fifth. So there you go. Congratulations. Congratulations to Ethan and to Ryan, today's winners. Bravo. I'm shit at this. Look, you've got a tough competition. I'll be honest. There is tough competition in this chat. Who knew he went to Madrid? Or do I just have shit ball knowledge? No. Do you know why? Do you know why most people don't know it? Because he played. Here you go. Look. He basically went to the Real Madrid academy on loan. He played in total 30 games for Real Madrid's B team, Real Madrid Castilla. He made one appearance for actual Real Madrid. He made one actual appearance for Real Madrid. Do you think Sesko will announce his decision before the Euros? According to Fabrizio, he will. According to Fabrizio, he will announce his decision. Well, yeah. Whether he'll announce it or not, I'm not sure. But according to Fabrizio, he will make his decision by the end of the week. So we'll have to wait and see. Can we get to 100 likes before the stream ends? Yeah, come on. Get to 100 likes before the stream ends, please. I'm doing this through illness. Is there any Yorkshire in you? My wife says you sound like William Hague when you say Ryan Henderson. No, there's no Yorkshire in me. No. I mean, to be fair, when I've got a cold, I can kind of understand the William Hague. I hear it. I'm fairly confident Sesko is signing for us. Loki. We will see. We'll see. We're almost at 11,000 subscribers as well. If you still haven't subscribed and you can subscribe right now to get me to 11,000, please do so. Please do so. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream. That is going to be the end of the stream. I will be back at 6:30 tomorrow. I will also be back on Twitch tomorrow. There's not going to be a Twitch stream tonight. I'm very sorry. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling a bit better. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. But look, have a fantastic evening. Monday is out of the way. And yeah, drop a like, drop a subscription, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.